Hey, Tim, I heard you went to a concert.
I sure did.
I bet you had the time of your life.
Hey, Metal Nation, it is I, Tim. This is Podcast Them Down. That's Slurdo Sleemly, and that is Doug. And Slurred commonly goes by Matt. And so I attended a concert. Damn it. You've already thrown me off with this. All right, so it was the opening date of the Green Day Saviors Tour.
Known metal band?
Famous metal band, Green Day.
Green Day.
And other bands on the bill were the Smashing Pumpkins, the Smashing Pumpkins, the Rancid, and some other band.
Rancid?
I care so little about them, I forget. Okay, well, don't get your hopes up about Rancid. So this was the July 29th, 2024 at Nationals Park, Washington, D.C., USA, which that's the emotionless concrete ballpark where the Washington Nationals had that one World Series victory.
Yeah.
Yep. So I wore my O's hat.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. So let's start there. I'll give you a recap of the entire experience.
Okay.
So late July, Washington, D.C., famously built over a swamp, so it was uncomfortable. And, with climate change, there's violent thunderstorms every day. So we were watching the forecast, clear day, all day, just hot and humid and miserable. All right?
Okay.
So we took the metro down. We only cared about Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day. I wanted to see a song of Rancid's, perhaps.
You took the green line, though. That's not a coincidence.
Took the green line. So we took the WMATA Metro. The green line is fully functional, unlike certain other lines this summer.
Other lines.
And there's see, if you're silent, it's easy to cut it out. No way. The stop, the metro stop, is like 2 blocks from Nat's ballpark. All right.
Navy Yard.
Yeah, so it was very convenient. Got out, and we said, time for dinner. So my date, also my wife, she said, I want tacos. For some reason,
say it right.
There are a bajillion taco places between the 1 block that's the metro and the ballpark. So we picked one of the many taco places, and that's when the storm came. Now, when we were walking, we heard the opening band. So that's about the time we got there. And it was some whiny bullshit. I don't know what the hell it was. I'm glad I missed them. It sounds like it would have been miserable. So we had our tacos. For some reason, they seated us on the balcony. And as the storm came, lightning and wind and all that, and but we were under an awning, so it actually happened to work out nicely because there were tables outside. They got rained on. So we enjoyed the misery. I wanted to bring out the metal in this very non-metal show. So we enjoyed observing the misery and the Southeast DC cops yelling at people like parking in no parking spaces, and not even getting out of their car to do so, just getting on their PA. You can't park there.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we made it into the venue eventually. The storm passed. It actually cooled down. Oh, you've been there.
I've been there.
So as we were walking to our seats, which were under one of the overhangs, so they were dry, Smashing Pumpkins started. So, so we missed Rancid. But they had cleared out the field seats They made everyone leave because there was lightning. Rancid apparently had played 2 songs and then had to stop, and that's it.
Well, that's not great.
That's the end of Rancid. And then Smashing Pumpkins turned out started late, so they had to cut a bunch of their set.
Oh.
So I looked up their set on the next date of the tour, and I am so glad I missed it.
Oh,
because
Cupid Deluxe?
They played, so when I saw them, they played like 5 or so songs off Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
Uh-huh.
You know, their multi-platinum album.
Double album.
But at the next show, they played almost as many songs from ATUM, Atom, a rock opera in 3 acts.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Wait, but that sounds metal.
Well, overstating your writing ability is pretty metal.
I don't think you've listened to this album, Doug.
They played some they played all the hits. You know, at least they're smart enough to know. No one wants to hear new Smashing Pumpkins. So they only did 1 song off like most of the albums no one cares about, right? And Billy Corgan dressed in a robe, like a priest's robe. So that was pretty metal.
Isn't that what he always
You could have
does?
picked him up and stuck him in My Dying Bride or a Doom band of some kind, and it would have fit perfectly.
I stopped liking Billy Corgan as much when he became Moby.
So, yeah, the show. The other thing I noticed was they have a female backup singer, just like King Diamond, but King Diamond writes better songs. All right, Green Day.
Oh, that was quick. This is a quick episode.
I told you.
All right. Well,
It's very not metal. Our listeners, you know, they don't want me to dwell on Smashing Pumpkins or Green Day for that matter. So here we go with Green Day.
you didn't even say Tim smiling politely.
Yep.
We got a great big banner that says Timmy loved Judas Priest.
So it was the 20th anniversary of American Idiot and the 30th anniversary of Dookie. So they opened with some song. I forget what it was. Wait, I have it here. They opened with The American Dream is Killing Me off their new album.
They have a new album?
Yeah. It's the Saviors Tour. The new album's called Saviors. It's fine. It's whatever. It's fine, I guess. It's not metal. We're not going to do a metal review on it.
The only aging punk act I ever want to see is Henry Rollins, and Henry Rollins.
I'd rather see Henry Rollins' spoken word thing.
He's a liar.
Liar! See, now. Did Beavis and Butthead ever do Green
they
Day?
did. He's like, I'm a liar too.
No. Did they do Green Day?
They must have. How could they not have?
I don't know.
The Zeitgeist,
Zeitgeist is a Smashing Pumpkins song.
probably.
Album. Or
Oh,
something.
it is?
Yeah. Anyway.
They don't call it that now, though. It's an era.
Oh, yeah, it's the Zeitgeist era. That's right.
All right, so they played that 1 song and then did all of Dookie, like straight through. Which it was great, okay? But the highlight is, the secret track on Dookie,
Oh, yeah.
all by myself. Trey, the drummer, put on a like a leopard print smoking jacket and came out from behind the drums and sang the song along to like an orchestral arrangement of the guitar part. So that was ridiculous.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yep. And then they played a handful of songs from a couple albums. They did Know Your Enemy, some other song from the new album. They did Minority. They did Brain Stew. And then they started playing American Idiot.
Oh. I don't know. What year did that album come out? 2004?
Yeah, around there. Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary. Yeah.
Because I am a staunch Republican, I disliked all of American Idiot in premise. But I always thought that it's weird because in hindsight, I think the time of your life is their peak commercialdom.
Absolutely.
But because it was involved in Seinfeld, I didn't mind it as much. But I always thought American Idiot was like peak selling out because they, Green Day was never a political band. They were always more of like in like a punk rock sense, right? I wanted them to be more anarchistic and less sort of liberally political. And for some reason, I just remember being particularly disappointed with that track.
That track?
Oh, the album.
Yeah. Well, when they played American Idiot, they had a Trump mask with idiot written on the forehead.
Oh, well, that's really putting it on the nose.
Yep. So we left after Wake Me Up When September Ends because which we made it pretty damn far into that album, but like I don't care. I didn't want to hear. Does anyone want to hear a 9-minute Green Day song? Because we listened to 2 or 3 of them. So, so we just missed Homecoming, What's Her Name, Bobby Sox, and Good Riddance.
That's the closing song?
Yeah, Time of Your Life. They always close with that now.
Yeah,
okay. So what had me thinking about this whole thing was I know exactly when I stopped listening to the radio and only listened to like CDs. And I believe it was somewhere between 1997 and 98.
Wow, really?
Yes, because
Z104.
No, because like I didn't know any of the I can't even tell you the albums. The Adore album by
Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was the follow-up to Melancholy. Possibly.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. And then anything after Nimrod, 97, by Green Day, I don't know. I don't know any of it. Turns out they had a lot of albums. So,
I mean, but were they in a situation where they were just trying to get out of their record deal?
Oh, Smashing Pumpkins?
Either of them, because
I don't think so. I think what happened was because they had singles that whole time that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. But I think what happened was the rise of nu metal and
it's not really the same audience. Maybe
Limp Bizkit and stuff is getting on the radio, and I was like, "Fuck this!" and I stopped listening to the radio.
Green Day had to be on the Warped Tour at some point. Oh yeah, they sure fucking were.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Well, it was named for a skate park, so that checks out.
You know, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the 2000s were a great era of pop music, but they weren't a great era for punk or metal in general, or even like broadly like conceptual, like industrial stuff. Like I remember there were like 2 Nine Inch Nails albums that came out like between 2000 and 2009. And one of them is With Teeth, which is a great album. Maybe it's their like best commercial album. Okay, Doug disagrees, but I think it's good in a poppy sense.
Yeah, it's better than if you say 9 Inch Nails, the With Teeth is what you expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically he took that formula and had a great career soundtracking every movie you've ever watched. Now. And so he kind of hit on the formula there. But the other one, Year Zero, which I think was specifically to get out of their record deal. It was like the last one they had to do.
Yeah, that very much was.
And it's just not, it's this weird, like conceptual, like year 2022 dystopian future concept album, which sounds great, but just wasn't executed in the right way. And I just feel like all these like heritage 90s acts just kind of ran out of steam around 2005. And they're just like, we have an 8-album deal and here's number 8.
Well, I think what happened in Green Day's case, they continue. So Dookie being the aberration, they kept putting out albums and they kept having a few singles off each album because Warning, Minority from Warning, I guarantee it. American Idiot, you know several of those songs. And 21st Century Breakdown had Know Your Enemy, and I bet you know that one because, again, I haven't listened to the radio in a long time, and I knew all those songs vaguely, okay? But I think where Green Day went wrong is they did the same thing Kiss did, They put out Uno, Dos, Tre, 3 albums at the same time. One for Billy Joe, one for Mike, and one for Trey. See, Trey?
He ran for Congress later, right? Trey Gowdy.
Did he? I don't know.
It's not very punk.
Was that a joke?
Yeah, that's a Trey Gowdy.
Sure. Okay. So, but Kiss did the same thing. They all released solo albums. They were,
Oh, yeah,
it was like, this is awful. And Peter Chris's was the worst.
But no, Peter Criss is the best because isn't that where I Was Made for Loving You, Baby? I think that's on Peter Chris's album.
Is it?
I think it is.
I wish the Beatles had done that. You know, because I'd like to listen to Ringo's album. Anyway, yeah, but I can't speak to Smashing Pumpkins. Oh, and I did listen to a little bit of Rancid to see what I missed. I'm glad I missed it. I thought they were like crustier. I was like, this is supposed to be underground punk? No wonder all the underground punks are insufferable. You know, I was expecting something like with more attitude, I guess, like the Ramones or No Effects or something. Not whatever Rancid was. Anyway, just a couple more metal things. Green Day is good for learning guitar. And I don't mean that as an insult because they're not riff based, chord based. So it's I learned where all the notes were by learning Green Day songs in the 90s and then, moved over to Metallica songs. Smashing Pumpkins, I was jamming on some of it today to see what I could remember. It is so uninteresting to play. Every song is 2 riffs. And I never noticed that until today. So that's unexciting. Fire at shows. Who pioneered that? Like pyros. Giant flames.
Oh, I just had a terrible joke that I'm not gonna say. And
is it? Was it about James Hetfield in Montreal?
Great White.
Yes, I got it.
Oh, Great White. I was going earlier when James Hetfield melted on stage in Montreal and caused a riot.
It's a good question because it's got to come out of like the 60s stadium, like Grand Funk Railroad or shit.
Well, I asked because Green Day had Fire repeatedly and it just didn't work. I saw Slayer with Fire. That works. That makes even the shitty Slayer songs are better with Fire. When Green Day is playing and there's suddenly giant bursts of flames, the song is about moving to Oakland. Like, what's this about?
Yeah, neither of those bands strike me as very pyrotechnic-y type bands. Like, I could see, okay, this is going to be, get ready, a Metal Nation. I once went to a Korn concert, and
I wish I could say I haven't been to Korn, but I was there to see Metallica.
But at this Korn concert, Korn had a very good video presentation, almost as good as Tool's was, but kind of in a similar way. Like every song had its own motion graphic presentation, but there was no fire. And if Korn can't pull off Fire, where the fuck do Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day think Fire is appropriate in their show?
Just to be pedantic, I don't think Smashing Pumpkins had Fire, but also their set was abbreviated, so maybe they would have. I don't know. When I saw Korn, they set the logo on fire. That was July 4th, 2000 at the Summer Sanitarium or whatever.
Hendrix set his guitar on fire at the Monterey Pop Festival. I was probably
but that's because he's awesome. I thought they were burning the Korn logo because they suck so much.
No one wants it, so they have to get rid of it.
Yeah. So, just one more footnote: the the plane that the dog is flying on the cover of Dookie.
Mm-hmm.
They had a giant inflatable plane, which they pulled through the audience. Plane flying during not When I Come Around, but one of those later songs. For All By Myself, I was lamenting that everyone who uses horrible streaming services, don't get to enjoy the magic of secret tracks, the hidden tracks.
can, but there's not much of a surprise.
Well, that's the point. That's the problem. It's a physical media thing. So buy physical media. Let's say I think that is about it. It was a great show. It was expensive. It was hot. It was uncomfortable. That's all pretty metal. They put on good performances, but the show was definitely not metal, and neither was this episode. So if you can do me a favor, and if you're watching on YouTube, go and hit the dislike button.
No!
Yeah, we need... Hey, you don't know how the algorithm works.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Any engagement is good engagement. So,
I don't think any of you idiots are even smart enough to find which one the dislike button is.
You're going to throw some numbers on the show?
Yeah. We got to rank it. Got to score it.
Quality, 9.5.
What?
Okay.
That was not a 9.5 review.
It was really good. Oh, Billy Joe has the guitar tone was fantastic for all the bands. The PA was the subs were great. For some reason, there was lots of subs on the toms and no subs on the kick drum, but whatever. Trey's drumming is really impressive, especially for a punk band. Like, even not for a punk band is very impressive. Smashing Pumpkins were very dramatic, as expected.
Okay.
They abbreviated their set, which was nice.
What did they play?
Good stuff. No, it was 9.5. I'm trying to end this episode, and you want to hear what they played. They played The Everlasting Gaze, Doomsday Clock, a U2 cover. Boo, wrong.
Where the streets have
Fuck you, Jew. I hate U2. Oh my God, I hate U2. Anyway, Tonight, Bullet with Butterfly Wings, Beguiled, 1979, Jelly Belly, Cherub Rock, and Zero.
All right.
And James Eha did all the stage banter for some reason, and not Billy. Billy didn't say a word.
Probably didn't want to be upstaging another Billy.
At one point, James goes, "You have anything you want to say, Billy?" And he was like crouched over like his water or whatever, and he goes,
"Wow, what a dick."
Yeah, it's pretty metal. So yeah, just based showing up late, missing Rancid. That made the whole show a 9.5. Quality, metal, 2, maybe 3. There was fire. It didn't quite fit. There you go. All right.
Okay.
And any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For your service.
All right. Till next time, Metal Nation, make sure your 90s revival nostalgia acts are metal instead of what I went to. Hey, King Diamond's coming.
Did you buy a half smoke? Ben's Chili Bowl half smoke at the ballpark?
We walked by that. We instead bought a $9 thing of Dippin' Dots.
Yeah.